I've been living with ghosts. Everywhere that I go, wanting me to come. I've been living with ghosts. Got me here by the throat, wanting me to come.
Hello there guys, this is Alex here, bringing you part 7 of What If Deku Had Full Counter. But before I continue with this, I do want to give an announcement that, thank you again for the support. It's been nice that we've been getting the like goals, and in this case, so you guys want me to continue this one, I'll have to ask another like goal. Ed really wants to work on something else, and I've been asking him to work on this one. I helped out a bit as well, just in some scenarios, but he does mainly the dialogue. And, he wants to work on something else. So in this case, 500 likes. He asked 600, but I just ordered 500 since we haven't even reached 400 in part 6. So that's why I'm asking that low of a number at the moment. So in this case, if we were to hit that like goal in this case, then I'll start. Well, I already started scripting a little bit of it just to get an idea of what I'm gonna do, and also just to make sure that we already have something in case of a backup. So in this case, it should be uploaded a lot more quicker than before. So without further ado, let's continue. Where we last left off, Class 1A arrived at the USJ, accompanied by Aizawa and later greeted by Hero 13 to do some rescue training. Gran Torino wasn't there, for he had elsewhere to be. All Might, on the other hand, was running late. But their plans were failed by the League of Villains, making their presence and intentions known. Aizawa jumped into the fray to defend the students, and Izuku, after telling Ida to go and get the teachers, he joined Aizawa, covering his back at every turn. Once the leader of the group of villains, for amusement and lack of pawns, he sent in 2 ominous figures. One went for Aizawa, which pummeled him into the ground, catching Izuku's attention. The other one, towering over Izuku, that was distracted and worried for Aizawa, as he used his tendrils and pierced Izuku all over. Ochako, witnessing the scene unfold from the entrance, with everyone still there and in one piece, she shouted, fearing for Izuku's life, Ochako screaming, "Izuku, no!" Before Ochako could go and check on Izuku, Hero 13 grabbed hold of her. Hero 13 saying, "Miss Uraraka, you can't. I promise he's going to be okay." Ochako saying, "But he's..." Hero 13 saying, "Like I said, he's going to be okay because I'll go and get him out of there myself." Ochako saying, "But you..." Hero 13 saying, "I'm fully aware that I may not be as fast as All Might or Gran Torino, but as a teacher, I cannot let any more of my students to get harmed, and especially him. Rep and Vice Rep, do your best to call for backup. Buy time if needed, and get out of here." Katsuki's inner monologue. "Geez, you don't say, Teach. If I let my guard down, this warp guy would just make a run for it. Izuku, why did you have to go alone to assist Aizawa? I could have been there too." "I guess until help arrives, I'm stuck here. Izuku, you better not die down there. Still need to prove to you that I can be number 1. Meanwhile, Izuku's body being impelled multiple times through the back and was let go after the tendrils made out of a gooey substance of the villain's body would be retracted on Shigaraki's command, leaving Izuku on the floor, bleeding out. Shigaraki was visibly disappointed that Izuku wasn't quick enough to counter nor fast enough to react, and would crouch next to Izuku's bleeding out body as he would grab him from the hair, picking up his head from the floor and keeping a pinky away from touching his head. Shigaraki would say, "So this is what Master used all those quirks for? How pathetic. And for me to consider you a threat, I thought I needed 2 nomos. Oh well. Where you'll be headed, you won't need them." Izuku's point of view. Izuku's inner monologue. "I let my guard down for a moment and I'm no longer able to stand up. But Aizawa-sensei, is he going to be okay? I can't move and I can't hear a thing. And to top all of that, this hand-obsessed villain is trying to talk to me now. What do they want from me?" Izuku coughing up blood. Shigaraki, looking in distaste on Izuku's condition, would say, well, you don't have to be alive for what we'll need you for. So better say one last goodbye to your friends. Don't give me that look. They'll die right after you, and you can reunite with them in the next world. Shigaraki laughing maniacally and slamming Izuku's head into the ground. While this is going on, 13 would make her way into the scene, trying to rush towards Izuku's side. She would be seen by Shigaraki as he would command one of his Nomus to get rid of the pesky hero. The Nomu did as instructed and lunging towards 13, sending her flying back to the stairs, breaking them in the process and shattering her visor and knocking her out. Everyone in Class 1A is looking in horror, as the only other pro that they had is out for the count. At the entrance, Ochako would say, oh no, I knew I should have assisted her, as she would be going towards Hero 13. Mina, grabbing Ochako by the shoulder, would say, no, we need to get out of here ASAP. Ochako saying, but Hero 13, as Shoto would say, I got her. You guys go. Ochako saying, what about Aizawa and Izuku? Shoto saying, are you blind? Aizawa isn't even moving. Not to mention, he's being pummeled to the ground. And Izuku? Well, he's lying in a pool of his own blood. They're most likely dead now. Now go. Katsuki saying, what did you say, icy hot bastard? Shoto saying, you heard me. They're dead. Big deal. Katsuki saying, why you? Kirigiri, with Katsuki being distracted, teleported to Shigaraki's side. Katsuki would say, now look what you made me do. Shoto saying, that was totally you. I had nothing to do with it. Now get the rest out of here. Katsuki saying, don't you dare tell me what to do. I'm class rep, so you do as I say. And I say, if we don't get Izuku or Aizawa, none of us aren't going anywhere. Shoto and Katsuki were breaking on who was right until Dark Shadow manifested. Dark Shadow scared. You know, why don't we just go outside and discuss this? Because right now, I really don't want to be here right now. As Katsuki would say, oi, birdface, keep your quirk out of my business. Tokoyami saying, but I. Dark Shadow pulling Tokoyami saying, you know what, let's just go and leave them here. Tokoyami saying, no, I'm not moving until you explain yourself. Dark Shadow, visibly scared, would say, remember what I told you about him? Tokoyami saying, yes, what of it? Dark Shadow, I don't know if you can tell or you can feel it, but that ominous feeling is starting to get stronger by the second. And I, for one, don't want to be here when it peaks. Back with Izuku. Izuku's in her monologue. I didn't expect that was gonna go down this way. Well, at least I tried my best to save everyone. I hope the pros get here soon. I didn't expect that I would be able to meet Mom and Dad so soon. Maybe this is for the better. But what will they think of me? Could I have done better? In the end, I was just a nuisance to everyone anyways. But before Izuku's mind could go drift into the nothingness, he heard a familiar voice taunting him. All for one, Zeko. Just like you were a nuisance to your parents. What a shame. Repeating your mistakes twice in a row. What a shame indeed. Yet you came here to become a hero, but you're running away with the easy way out. How pathetic of you. You're just a child with no real conviction. You should have just joined me. It would have been a lot easier to just give in. Give in to the wrath. Give in to the destruction. But most importantly, give in to me. And the world would have been dancing to your tune and in the palm of your hands. Izuku gets overwhelmed with a sense of anger as he remembers who the voice belonged to, and looks upwards where Shigaraki is standing, and next to him, the man in the black suit staring at him. Izuku talking to what seems to be All for One. You're still alive. How convenient is that? If that's the case, he'll die All for One, right here and right now. Crawling towards Shigaraki and trying to extend his hands where All for One seems to be standing. Shigaraki smirking. Oh, so you dare to speak my master's name? So casually like that? No. That won't do. Shigaraki would kick Izuku in the face and step on him, making sure he stays put. Izuku only looks in anger towards Shigaraki while black markings start to cover his forehead and would start to crack the ground nearby, which makes Shigaraki lose a bit of his footing and made him go back to where he originally was standing. Izuku started to stand up with all those pierced holes with blood still leaking from them, but the holes were starting to get covered up by a dark flame that slowly but surely we're getting regenerated. Shigaraki would say, "Oh, so there's the quirks Master gave you. It seems that now you're taking things seriously. But don't you think it's already too late? And if you keep this going, in the current state you're in, you'll be dead in a matter of seconds." Seeing Izuku struggle, "Well, it seems you really want to play the hero. So be it. But I know something that you don't. And once you figure that out, let's just say it's just too late." Shigaraki yelling at the Nomu that was slamming Aizawa's head into the ground, "Nomu! Take good care of this brat, and make sure he's still in one piece." Izuku would dash towards Shigaraki, and where All For One was seemingly standing next to him. Izuku not even listening on what Shigaraki was saying, he would throw his fist, but before he knew it, he saw a weird creature take the hit without it flinching. Back at the entrance exam, Shoto, after having an earful by Katsuki, would say, "Fine, I'll grab 13, and you can grab Aizawa. It seems that creature's focused on Izuku." Katsuki scoffing at him, "And remember the plan, Icy Hot. After we get them out, we charge back in to save Izuku." Shoto saying, "Whatever. I still don't see the point of saving a dead body." Ochako, watching Izuku struggle, would say, "Guys, he's still alive. There's still hope." Katsuki making his way to see what was going on, only to see the Nomu grabbing Izuku by the head and repeatedly smashing it towards the ground and splattering blood in the process, leaving Class 1A shock and disbelief. Shoto would say, "If he wasn't dead before, he certainly is now. Nobody can survive that amount of blood loss. He's a goner." Katsuki tearing up, "No! God damn it, no!" Katsuki was tied with Zero's tape, so he wouldn't go and do something irrational, as Ochako would start crying. "It can't be. Why? Mina hugging Ochako while tearing up, We should just get out of here. Come on." Ochako crying and barely making any sense whatsoever would say, But why? I couldn't. I'm so useless." Mina would say, "Come on, Ochako, we have to get moving." Momo would say, "Ochako, watching him isn't going to help. We should go and do what we were told." Jiro tearing up and would say, "How could he be so heartless?" Momo saying, "Kyoka, I'm not being heartless. I'm being rational here." As Jiro crying angrily, "Rational? Rational? How rational is it? We came here to become heroes, yet you want us to run away. That is not what a hero does. That is the coward's way out." Momo slaps Jiro, as she would say, "Kyoka, are you listening to yourself? Now it's not the time to argue. Can't you see? He's sacrificing himself to protect us. If we go to him, it'll only make his sacrifice be in vain." Dark Shadow, breaking the mood, would say, "I, for one, agree with the ponytail girl. Let's get out of here, before it's too late." Jiro, visibly angry, would say, "Tokoyami, keep your crook out of this." Momo would say, "Enough, Kyoka. Tokoyami, can you send Dark Shadow to get Aizawa-sensei while Shoto will get Hero 13? Tokoyami saying, "Sure." Dark Shadow would say, "As long as I don't have to get near to the kid over there, I'm in." Momo visibly confused and would ask, "Why though?" Dark Shadow said, "As I said it before, there's something ominous about him, and I can't put my shadowy finger on what it is, and I'm terrified imagining what might happen, and I can tell that boy's about to burst." Momo would say, "But isn't he?" Dark Shadow saying, "No, he's not. Let's just grab the teachers and get out of here before it's too late." The students made their plan and managed to successfully retrieve Aizawa and 13, as Momo made a first aid kit and treated them on the spot. Noticing that Aizawa was still alive, but he was battered up pretty badly. They were about to leave, but they stopped in their tracks once a large boom was heard and the windows of the USJ shattered. They turned around to see what caused it, only to be shocked. Back with Izuku, the Nomu pummeled Izuku to the point that Izuku's body refused to move, barely alive. Izuku's inner monologue, "Damn it, I can't move. It's hard to keep my eyes open." As All For One's echo would say, "Child, is your life really that pathetic? If you wish to live, you simply use the gift I gave you. All you need to do is just give in." Shigaraki is ecstatic that Izuku is taking his final breaths, and now he's ready to move on to the students so he can make sure that All Might gets the message. But his train of thoughts were interrupted as he saw Izuku get up from the ground, with all of those holes emitting the same black and purple flames. The flames burned out in a blaze, And suddenly Izuku's injuries were healed, and the marking that was on his forehead got bigger. Shigaraki would say, yes, here it is. Izuku again tried to hit Shigaraki, but once more, the Nomu intercepted. But once Izuku's fist collided with the Nomu, a large boom, which caused the windows of the USJ to shatter, and it sent the Nomu flying. Shigaraki was afraid, so he commanded the Nomu to take Izuku down. The massive fist was headed towards Izuku, but Izuku caught it. He squeezed on it, and finally the Nomu went out in flames, leaving nothing but ashes. Izuku was ready to punch Shigaraki into oblivion, but the second Nomu had a barrier quirk, and Izuku recognized it, and he demanded answers. Shigaraki would say, oh, this quirk. Funny of you to ask. Master told me that it belonged to a hero. What was her name again? Ah, yes, Incomidoria. Oh, but wasn't that the name of your mother? Izuku shouting angrily, you damn bastard, I'll kill you! Izuku charged forward in a furious state towards the villain, but the Nomu once again made a barrier. Izuku, infuriated, he punched the barrier over and over again, to the point where the barrier itself started to crack. Izuku continued with his assault, not letting go of the pressure, until the barrier broke, leaving the Nomu wide open for attack. Izuku simply fired a fireball at the Nomu, which on contact made a swirling pillar of black and purple flames that reached into the sky. Class 1A was shocked, including Katsuki, for he never knew. After the pillar of fire settled down, there was nothing. The Nomu was obliterated. Shigaraki was scared, but after seeing Izuku's face, he laughed. As Shigaraki laughing, how pathetic. The hero gave in. I wonder, what would your parents think of you? Izuku turned around to face Shigaraki, but this time Izuku's face showed no emotions. But regardless of his face having no emotions whatsoever, he still was relentless. And Kirigiri, to defend against Izuku at the same time, figures out his movements. He used a portal to catch him in a loophole, which brought them to the conclusion of Izuku attacking on sight, without any restraints. Shigaraki would say, Kirigiri, you know what to do. Kirigiri freed Izuku from the loophole, only to have Izuku charging at them, only for Kirigiri to open a portal right in front of Izuku. Shigaraki saying, I must say, Kirigiri, this one is a perfect specimen. Kirigiri saying, indeed, Master Shigaraki. Shigaraki would say, Kirigiri, do you know how to break a person? Kirigiri saying, by severing their limbs or breaking their bones? Shigaraki chuckling, oh no, Kirigiri, that is easy to do, and anyone can do it. What I'm referring to is their spirit. It was clear the boy didn't want to use Master's gift. I'm guessing he knew the consequences, therefore the answer to my question should have been obvious. Kirigiri would say, I'm afraid I don't follow, sir. Shigaraki would say, you disappoint me, Kirigiri, but alas, the answer is by killing his own friends. He'll experience all sorts of emotions, and not to mention, he'd be an outcast, and that, my dear Kirigiri, is what we need. Since he'll be at his lowest, and having a one-track mind, it's easy to make mistakes, and that is where we come in, and make an offer that he cannot refuse. Meanwhile, back at the entrance, Class 1A was watching in disbelief that Izuku stood back up and burnt one of the creatures to a crisp, and later the second one. Although instead of a person he resembled a desperate beast, which overpowered the creature's barrier and obliterated with a pillar of black and purple flames. During this time, Katsuki was released by Zero's tape. Dark Shadow would say, last chance, people, last chance. If none of you are going to get out of here, I certainly am. As Dark Shadow dragging Tokoyami outside. Once Tokoyami was dragged by Dark Shadow, the other students gathered their thoughts and were about to leave, but they saw a portal that was blocking the entrance, which confused them at first, but realizing what could be the case, as Momo would say, out of the way! Luckily, the people in the way got away in time from Izuku's attack that collided with the ground, making a crack in it. Momo would say, careful next time, Izuku. Let's get out of here. She looks at his face, as she would say, Izuku, are you okay? Ochako would say, those markings. Izuku, could it really be? Mineta would say, oh no, we're goners. And as Mineta's words hit home with the students, except for Katsuki, They realize the situation and try not to make any sudden movements for a desperate beast. Anything that moves is a threat. Unfortunately for them, Mineta being so scared, he peed his pants, which caused a series of reactions and made things worse for them. Izuku was about to attack, but he was frozen entirely by Shoto's glacier of ice, which is similar to the one Shoto used in the sports festival versus Zero. And everyone sighed in relief, as Shoto would say, "Told you so. Now let's get out of here." Barely moments after Shoto spoke, the ice was melting rapidly. During the whole time, Katsuki stood there, shocked to see Izuku act like that. Katsuki's inner monologue. This is Izuku. No, this isn't him. But could this be the reason? Why? Why didn't he tell me this sooner? The creature's barrier, isn't that Izuku's mother's quirk? No, it couldn't be an imitation, perhaps? Whatever the case is, I have to do something about it. And to be continued. I hope you guys like this part. Don't worry, I already have something in like 1,000 words in with the other part, just in case, because I was a little bit more specific with the scenes there, I guess. But regardless, I do hope you guys liked my foreshadowing before. If you don't, well, too bad. You guys should have paid more attention to the story. Sometimes people don't do that, which I'm kind of ashamed of. But hey, what can you do, man? It's like, you want to tell a compelling story, you just have to bait some people out, And if they don't like it, it's like, you can always just leave to another What If channel, man. It's as simple as that. Some of you may not like it, some of you may like it. I hope the guys, the people, the audience who are listening to this are here really for the story. I know I've been baiting you with the thumbnails. It's just that, come on, guys. Come on, you can't be that predictable. I'm sorry. I'm losing my composure. But in any case, I hope you guys liked the video. And again, 500 likes for the next part. In the next 24 hours, okay? 24 hours. 500 likes. And if anyone has any, well, in this case, if we don't get that like goal, most likely, what's it called? It is going to focus on Familiar of Zero and probably Reincarnation of Link. I'll also start scripting for the special, because I have not done that. I've been focused on doing this. That's why I told you until January the 10th I'll do the 2K special, because of this, So in any case, I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you guys have a good night or good day. Peace.